How are you tonight?
Not too bad. It's prison.
Yeah, I guess, right? All right, here we go. I was just listening in the background there in prison. What are they watching TV, or is it just inmates talking to each other?
I should. It's just the way it is around here. Now they're running up and down the hall side.
I gotcha. Yeah, so we last spoke on Inauguration Day, if you remember, Joe, and we were hoping that you'd get out fairly soon, and here you are, still sitting in prison, unfortunately, and no pardon from Trump. I know you've tried with multiple people, even big time, politicians, and even Joe Rogan and Dana White and everybody else, and nobody seems to be able to get through to Trump for some crazy reason. I don't get it. So, what are your thoughts on that? Why do you
Well, I
think?
mean, Alex Stein. You know who he is? The comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Lauren Boebert on his show. He's had Eric Bonson on his show. He's had some pretty big people on his show talking, trying to get me out of here. And everybody thinks the same thing. Trump hasn't pardoned anybody since the Chrisleys, so they're all expecting another list to come out before long. But Trump does things as Trump wants. At his pace or his pace and his time. But everybody still thinks that he's going to come through for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and like you said, he's definitely on his own page. He's not speeding up for anybody, and I do agree. I think your time you will get a pardon, and there will be your time to get out of there. We discussed that last time. It's just taking a little longer, like you're saying. He's not granting many pardons, but I think that wave will be coming up now that they got a lot of things that they wanted to get done in the inside the administration seem to be working out well with the markets flying, everything else. So yeah, I think he might have a little more time, and I honestly think they might be looking at cannabis. Are you a cannabis guy, Joe? I know you speak about all the crazy drugs use in federal prison, but it looks like they're going to do something with cannabis on a federal level, possibly legalize it or do something. It looks like anyway. But are you a cannabis guy, and is the drug still very crazy in prison?
I don't smoke any weed, but when I ran for governor in Oklahoma, that's why Oklahoma is selling medical marijuana now. Because that was my push. Uh, I pushed it so hard, and hell, that might be half of why I'm in prison. But I flooded the entire state of Oklahoma with free rolling papers uh, to get my vote and get people excited. Uh, but yeah, no, it's still bad in here. It'll never change.
So yeah, the drug use is still crazy. And what do they usually use? Is it that like synthetic cannabis, or like what is it?
Oh hell no, it's the real deal, dude.
Yeah, they get
Yeah,
everything. Wow, that's crazy.
yeah. Except the market is like 10 times better in here because they pay $35 for a joint, and I'm talking a pin joint. I'm
Wow,
not talking some big old fat blunt. I'm talking a pin joint, and
that's
it's the
pretty
same.
wild.
And it's the same way with meth. Okay, meth is $7,000 an ounce in here.
Whew, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could make a ton of money selling drugs
Well, I mean that's why
in
it's
there.
so corrupt. And that's why the guards are so corrupt.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Is
money.
there's a buttload of money. Hell, they're selling cell phones, $100 cell phones that you can buy at Walmart for $3,000.
Jesus. Yeah, that'll definitely create a lot of corruption, especially when they can make more on the side doing that than they do with their yearly salaries. So
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
that's where you become a big issue. And
So you know, answer me one question honestly. You know, if it's in here and you can't find staff that's honest enough not to bring it in here, what do you think that border down at Mexico and Canada is doing? Right? Do you really think that there's not you know border patrol agents that ain't taking a healthy payoff to let that shit in?
there's payoff
You're
all
you,
over.
you're crazy. I mean, there's cocaine in the White House. Come on.
Yeah, there definitely was. That's for sure.
Yeah, fuck that. And half of these politicians are, getting indicted for money laundering or campaign fraud or gold bars in your deep freeze. I mean, come on,
It is wild what goes on, Joe, and then you're sitting behind bars for some
for
crazy
nothing.
stuff.
you know, all of my witnesses have admitted to perjury. On world television, and I think if anything, that's the part that disgusts me the most. Is President Trump knows this? Okay, he knows who I am. I know he does. He said my name in the White House briefing. He knows exactly who I am. And Don Jr. has definitely watched Tiger King. So they know the story. But they're tied up in so much petty drama. You know, uh, Now we're going to sue the Wall Street Journal, and now uh, we're going to deport uh, fucking what's that fat lesbian's name?
Uh, uh, what the heck? I can't think. It was Rosie O'Donnell. No, it's
Yeah.
yeah, her.
Okay. And we're gonna deport Elon, and we're gonna deport. Come on, let's get down to what people voted you in there for. Fix the justice system, get the economy on track, and move on past this petty crap.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of infighting, and I definitely don't like to see the fighting with him and Elon because Elon's obviously a genius and was the one that made it possible for Trump to even get in there. So
Okay, but ask yourself, are they really fighting, or is this all just a distraction?
yeah, yeah, who the heck knows what's going
Yeah,
on? You
you
never
you
know,
know,
Joe.
come on, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right now with the Epstein bullshit that's going on,
oh,
he's losing a lot of face over this Epstein stuff.
I was
Okay,
gonna actually ask you about that because I've been saying it a lot lately too, and I'm saying, this has to be the biggest cover up because there's no way that there isn't a list. We all know that something's going on, so just bring it out. Let's see it.
well, whether there's a list or not, right now would be the best time for him to pardon me because I would create so much distraction they would forget about the Epstein list.
Yeah, no, you would, Joe. You're a world phenomenon. I say to people, and when COVID happened, literally this thing be the Tiger King. You became huge, and you were already in prison, so you had no idea what was going on. I don't watch TV, Joe. I'm not a TV guy. That was one of the shows that I've actually watched like all of it during COVID. So yeah, if I was watching it and it was very interesting, it had me it glued me in and I was like, watching every episode. Everybody in the world was watching the thing, and we already know. I was saying it might be is it one of the highest like watch series on Netflix? I would imagine so, just because of the timing of it and everything. I never looked, but I could imagine it would be.
I got a new show in the works. Uh, it's gonna be good. Uh, it's gonna be better than the original Tiger King.
What is it like the Tiger King Truth Exposed or something you had
Yeah,
posted about?
exactly.
Oh, very nice. And when's that when you getting that shot? Where are you already in the works of shooting it? How's that work if you're in prison?
Uh, it's being shot every day right now, and we're hoping to drop it in September.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. All right, we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. But more importantly, we hope that you're free at that point and can go and promote it freely as you want to. That's for sure. And so yeah, you got married since I've talked to you, and then your husband was released and then deported. Is that correct?
Well, I've been married since November of last year, but
Okay.
we didn't let that out too much because we didn't want the prison separating us. Uh, but yeah, he got deported May the 17th. He's currently in Mexico.
Oh well. And so do you guys still talk daily?
Yeah, I talk to him 3, 4 times a day. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So, and how does it work in there with the phones? You said you mentioned cell phones. Does everyone have a cell phone, or do they use the public phone? How does that even work today?
What do you mean?
Like in prison, how do you use a cell phone to actually call? Like, are you using your own personal cell phone right now?
Well, I'm not. I'm not gonna just. tell you my secrets so you can publish them, and then they come in here and shut everything down.
Well, no. Well, if that's the case, then definitely don't tell me. I was just curious. I didn't know how it all works, but definitely don't expose anything
I'm
that's
in
going to get me
prison,
in
but I'm not
trouble.
an idiot.
Yeah, no. Well, then I'm asking the wrong question. But anyway, so yeah, your husband was deported, and do you plan on? So if you get pardoned, do you plan on obviously going to Mexico, or what are you going to try to do to reunite with your husband?
I just like I tell everybody the same thing. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm going to Mexico. I'm gonna get him, and then I'm gonna go. We're gonna go live in Cozumel, and I'm going to work my ass off until I can throw Trump $5 million for one of his little gold cards he's selling
Hmm.
to get George back in America.
Very nice. There you go. Well, that's a very good plan, and I think you could make that happen pretty quick, Joe. At your
I think so too.
yeah, I think so. And how's your health? I know you're battling some cancer, and didn't you have a foot surgery or something the other day? I saw.
Yeah, just got both of my feet fixed. Been waiting 2 years for that.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
but
What what they have to
now,
fix?
God, man, I just had bone spurs on the sides of my feet from walking with that crutch for so long.
Mm.
It hurts to even walk. Um, but that's better. But my prostate cancer is out of remission. I have a tumor in my left lung that they think is cancer that's growing,
Mm.
and they just put me in for another PET scan uh, to see because they think my prostate cancer is in my ribs.
Oh man, that's not good to hear. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
hear that, Joe.
so
Yeah, we need to get you out of there so you can get some adequate health care,
yeah, no shit.
treatments. Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure.
decent food would help if
Yeah,
you could eat and stay healthy.
yeah, I imagine that would be a big thing there if you're not eating exactly healthy and you're kind of locked up all the time, not exactly exercising and moving around 100%. Yeah, I could imagine that things will just start going downhill in your body, and we're as we get older, things start to happen like that. And yeah, I mean your diet is super important, so I can't imagine that's any good. And you said before the food was pretty terrible, so
It's the cheapest shit the government can afford. I
man.
mean, government cheese is better than what we're eating.
That's crazy. So yeah, that's a shame, to be honest. So here I have a good one. I want you to explain to people because obviously you touched on this earlier, and you were saying you were like basically set up during the. You weren't saying that, but I'm saying you were set up during the series of the whole Carol Baskin, the hitman thing, and you were kind of alluding earlier, about all the evidence and the perjury that people have made publicly. So just touch base on that for everybody that doesn't really understand or hasn't been following recently. Just kind of give everybody the all the information about that. I am familiar. I've been paying attention to it, but I know a lot of people aren't familiar. So yeah, I know that these guys are on like on TV, and they basically said things they shouldn't have been saying. So, and I know you have a lot of evidence there that claims that you are free. So, can you touch on that, Joe?
Well, okay, everybody can go to joeexoticofficial.com, and there's an evidence link there that breaks it all down. There's a link there for Jeff. There's a link there for James. Uh, it shows how I hired ex Secret Service people that now have private investigation companies to investigate on the federal agents that arrested me, and the reports are there showing that what they did that was corrupt and wrong. All of the videos are there of Jeff admitting to perjury, Alan admitting to perjury under oath, Lauren admitting to perjury under oath, James admitting to perjury under oath. Uh, the thing that's exciting, that it's actually disgusting, is what it is. But when Jeff helped them take my zoo, they were expecting to be able to just get a free pass in life and do whatever the hell they wanted. Uh, and they took my zoo, and then Jeff started building his own zoo. Okay, and in the meantime, the government turned on them after Jeff and them helped the government put me in jail. turned on them and confiscated their animals and took Jeff's shit away. Okay, so what they done was they got pissed off and they thought that they were going to screw over the government and turn over their cell phones to my lawyer, John Phillips, because they were recording the feds the whole time. The feds were telling them how to set me up and lie and fabricate evidence. Okay, so we have we have over 700 phone recordings that are on that website, uh, and text messages and videos from the, their very own phones, telling the feds telling them how to lie and fabricate evidence. But the disturbing part is okay. Jeff and Lauren and James make a life out of tape recording each other and tape recording everybody they ever talk to, so they can blackmail people and just run their little criminal operation. Okay, so when they handed their phones over, they deleted everything on the front side of their phones, but they forgot they claimed as cache files.
Mm-hmm.
So on that website are some of the phone recordings that are extremely disturbing of how Jeff and Lauren were fighting and admitting to each other on their phone recordings of how they were raping girls.
Oh.
Okay, and then they've got a recording there of how they were abusing John Finley's 3-year-old little daughter, and it's disturbing. And there's a long argument conversation between Jeff and Lauren of how Jeff was forcing her to take drugs to have sex with the dudes that they drugged. It's crazy. But see, that's what I wasn't allowed to discuss at any of this at my trial, because before my trial, they made an agreement somehow with the prosecutors and the judge and the public defenders that I couldn't talk about Carol's missing husband. I couldn't talk about how Jeff and Lauren were luring young girls from all over the United States. They'd fly them into Oklahoma City and they'd keep them at the zoo for a couple of days, luring them in with baby tigers, and then they would get them over to their cabin to spend the night over there because they built this separate little room just for this. And they would drug them with ketamine and rape them and videotape it and blackmail them, and that's how they got away with it. For shit, they're still getting away with it.
That's why.
And we have all of those tapes and recordings now. So at some point, their day's coming, and at some point, the federal agents and the U.S. attorney that covered all of this up for them to lie about me in court, their day's coming too.
Yeah, that's some crazy, crazy allegations right there. I'm definitely have to go to that site and check these
Oh yeah, go
recordings.
watch. Yeah, it's crazy. It's more than crazy. It's more than crazy. And during Alan's uh, deposition, he in his deposition he even admitted that he tried to tell the federal agents about the sex trafficking and stuff, and they could care less. See, because when they flew girls in, they flew this one in from Las Vegas, okay, that was supposed to be this hot Asian girl. Okay, well they get to the airport and it's an old lady that was doing the same shit they were doing. Okay, and so now they're stuck with her for 3 days at the zoo, and they're like severely pissed off. So they have to take her over to their cabin, and she stays in that room that they built. And I don't know if they drugged her or she just fell asleep, but they went through her suitcase and they found this book of over 75 young Asian girls.
Oh my.
Okay, and of every measurement you can think of, their waist, their boobs, everything. Okay, and so she was trafficking all of these Asian girls from Thailand in Las Vegas. Okay, so Jeff and Lauren take that book. Okay, and the next morning they're standing on the porch of the office, and Jeff holds that book up when she gets there. Her name was Mimi, and she get there, and Jeff says, "Look," he says, "I'm either going to turn you in or you're cutting me in." Okay, so they made a deal, okay, and they left for Vegas so fast that Saf and Allen had to go close the Neon Jungle at the mall in Oklahoma City that Jeff built to go pet cubs to lure more girls. Okay, so so they go to Vegas and James is running this fake credit card and ID scam. Okay, because he had this used car finance thing going on, and he would take people's social security numbers and make payments and make it look like they were paying all these payments and get their credit scores up. Then him and Jeff would open up charge accounts online for tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shit. So James takes the fake IDs and gets leases at these houses in Las Vegas, and that's where they run the sex trafficking out of. And those leases and those IDs and everything are on that website, joeexoticofficial.com. Go entertain yourself and then ask the Department of Justice just what the hell is going on.
Yeah, that's some wild allegations right there. I am
Yeah, it's not an allegation. The proof is on the
well, yeah. I
website.
mean, I'm definitely going and checking this stuff out because holy cow, that's
I can't believe you haven't already.
well. I didn't really even. I know that you posted some stuff, and like you had said, you weren't allowed to talk about any of this during your trial, so that's
No,
a
it's
huge
the
difference.
yeah, the jury didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy. So they had no idea any of this was going on. And didn't you just have like a new trial denied recently?
Yeah,
Holy,
over 1,000 exhibits of new evidence, their confessions of perjury, and yeah, the court denied a new trial. Yeah. So tell me what's going on.
yeah, that's wild. And weren't you saying like you didn't even have a chance to really even didn't you have to use like a public defender or something like that? I forget what you.
Yeah, see, because they arrested me, they held me without bond, they kept me in solitary confinement, and yeah, forced me to use public defenders because I couldn't work, I couldn't help find my evidence, I couldn't do nothing.
Man, that's crazy. So do you appeal that to the Supreme Court or the
That's what we're working on right now.
okay.
But it's a shame that I have to wait several more years to get to the Supreme Court
Hmm.
when they admitted to perjury on world television.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, especially if you have this evidence on a website that people can go to and the public can
Man.
check it out, which I
Oh
will
my God.
definitely be checking out when we hang up. I can tell you that because that sounds wild.
Yeah, you need to. What you need to do is you need to go do some research and go look at that, and save your last 15 minutes of this phone call for me to call you back in a couple days after you look at all that.
Sounds good to me. Hey, anytime you want to call Joe, and you are more than welcome. Just hit me up. You know that, and I will make time to talk to you and try to get the word out. Like I said, I followed it before. That's one of the only shows I've ever watched in my life, and I was following it. Like I said, when the Jerry Jones's attorney was mentioning all the evidence and had all that, and I saw it all, and I was looking at it all online because he had posted it, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty crazy." It seems like they have enough evidence right there that you shouldn't be in prison. That's how I kind of started really checking it out again after the show, and uh, and then yeah, you had talked. We talked in literally the day of the inauguration. So Trump had just got in that day, and yeah, you're still sitting in there, and it is kind of crazy because more and more evidence keeps coming out. And like you said, you weren't even able to use this evidence during your trial, and then you just got denied a new trial. So it's
Right, right.
pretty crazy
For
stuff.
the second time.
And that's the second time they denied you.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, that's pretty wild.
it is. Hey, I wrote you down for Thursday at 8 o'clock at night. Uh, so go look at all that stuff, do a little bit of homework, and let's do this again Thursday night.
Sounds great, Joe. We certainly
Okay.
will. And I
Uh,
appreciate you calling, and I will check out that info, and I'll probably have 100 more questions for you, I'm sure, after I look.
I can't wait till you see it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait.
The next phone call will be interesting.
It certainly will. So yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate that, and you enjoy the rest of your night as much as you can over there in prison.
All right, buddy.
Obviously, everybody listening, because I'm going to make a video so everyone can check it out. Support Joe Exotic, and let's try to get him a pardon here. So hopefully Trump starts making a list for pardons, and you're at the very top of it. So
And I have a new TikTok shop going live tonight too. So get on TikTok and do some shopping. Help me out.
Sounds good, Joe. Thank you very
All
much.
right,
I'll
buddy.
talk to you Thursday night. Enjoy your
All
evening.
right. Thanks.
Have a good one.